Hello, I'm Dr Louise Jenkins. I'm the Head of School for Nursing and Midwifery in Cambridgeshire at Anglia Ruskin University, and I wanted to give you an overview of some of the things to consider if you're considering a career in healthcare. So why should you think about a job in healthcare? First of all, job satisfaction. Working with people who need you in particular, is one of the most satisfying things that you can do. I've never been bored in all the years that I've worked in healthcare in a whole variety of jobs. And so it really is something, if you don't particularly like sitting in an office and the thought of that, you're up, you're active, you're working with people all the time, and no day is the same. The NHS is an absolutely huge employer in the UK. So there's over nearly 1.5 million staff working for the NHS and another 1.5 million working in social care. There's lots of flexibility. So people are sick or have babies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't stop. So there's lots and lots of flexibility in working times. If you do shift work, you tend to do your hours in a slightly concentrated pattern, and you have days off at the weekends and days off during the week, depending on what your shift pattern is for that week. There's also really good opportunities for flexibility in the working hours that you do with both full and part-time working. And there's opportunities for career development, so lots of continuing professional development, opportunities for further study, and there's a really clear career structure with lots of different things that you can do and places that your career will take you. There's a variety of roles in healthcare, so most people know about nursing, and there'll be a video where you can watch to find out a bit more about nursing in detail. There's also midwives, there are nursing associates, which is a new role in the nursing family, as well as paramedics, operating department practitioners, physiotherapists, doctors, and many, many more. So it's a really good, if you're thinking about healthcare, have a look at some of the different roles that are available to you. How do you choose which career to go to? So first of all, you need to find out what the job involves. A good place to start is professional body websites. So for example, the Royal College of Nursing, the Royal College of Midwives and the College of Paramedics have all got sections on their website that tell you a little bit more about the job. They tell you what it involves. You can also look on the UCAS website, and there's UCAS Explore, which will give you information about courses that you might need to take to go into the different job roles. And you can have a look on university websites. So for example, Anglia Ruskin University, where I work, has got very clear course pages where you can look at the different professions, you can look at what's involved, and look at some of the employability options as well. So what kind of jobs you can go into when you graduate. It's a good idea to talk to friends and families and teachers to see if they know of people who are in those roles who can talk about what does the job actually involve, what's it like doing that job, and get a better picture about what's involved. But also you need to think about, what do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy working with sick people? Do you want to work with women and babies? Do you want to be in a hospital environment? Do you want to be out in the community? So lots and lots of different places and things that you need to consider. And where do you want to work eventually? So do you see yourself working as part of a team? Do you see yourself working more independently? What appeals to you for the future? You also need to think, who do you want to work with? So what kinds of people do you want to work with? What role suits your values? What's important to you as a person? And what's going to motivate you to get out of bed and to go to work every day for 40 years? So really have a think about what your passion is, where you see yourself. Lots of people ask about apprenticeships when they're thinking about a healthcare qualification, and they are a possibility for many of the careers that I've mentioned already. So apprenticeship is an alternative route, certainly into nursing, but also into operating department practitioners and some of the other careers. So it's worth finding out what's available. If you do an apprenticeship, instead of going to university and doing a degree at a university of your choice, you go to work for an employer, and the employer, you can then ask your employer to put you on an apprenticeship course. Your employer will then choose which course to put you on and will choose where to send you to university. So for example, for nursing, they will have a university that they're working with that they will send you to that. So you don't have that choice. And while you're doing your degree, you will continue to work for part of the week. So it's important that you understand you will be studying and working at the same time. Because apprentices are paid by their employers, they're not eligible for additional financial support. So although your fees would be paid by an employer, you wouldn't have a student loan at the end of your degree. You again don't have that additional support. You're doing it based upon whatever your employer is paying you. If you're interested in finding out more about apprenticeships, it's a good idea to have a look at opportunities in local hospital trusts and some university websites as well to find out more information about what opportunities are available for apprentices. If you decide that you want more control over where you go to university, you then need to think about where you want to study and how do you choose a university. So probably the most important decision for you is where do you want to live while you're studying? Do you want to stay at home and commute into a university, or do you want to go away from home and have a little bit more of that independent student experience? Once you've decided where you want to live while you're studying, you need to look at what universities in the area offer the course that you want. So you can look at things like UCAS Explore, you can find which universities are in the geographical location that you want to go to. And then you really need to do some research. You need to look at open days. And all of the universities will be offering open days. And at the moment, those are virtual open days. So you can get a tour of the campus. You need to have a look at the courses that you want to do. So what does the course look like? How much placement will you have? Where will they put you on placement? Will you need to travel? In most places, to get the variety of experience that you need, there will be a requirement for travel for you. So you're going to need to think about how you're going to get to placement. But also think about the university. Look at the resources that they have, the libraries, the skills labs. Think about, are the staff approachable? Do you like the people that you've met on the open days? People are often worried about financial support when they're a student. So student loans at the moment cover tuition fees. So the university, you don't have to pay the university for your course. The government pays them directly and that gets added to your student loan. There's also a maintenance element of a student loan, and that will depend on how much your household income is. So usually how much your mum and dad earn. You can go to the government website and go on to student finance and look at a calculator, and that will work out how much of a maintenance element you're likely to get. But both the tuition fees and the maintenance element do have to be paid back. But you only start to pay that back once you're earning £25,000 a year. So it's worth having a look at that. This year, because we know that healthcare students don't have the same opportunities to work during their degree that other university students do, the government introduced a training grant for healthcare students. And that means that if you're doing a degree in nursing or midwifery or paramedics or any of those healthcare related degrees, you will get funding of at least £5,000 a year. But people doing a foundation degree or people doing an apprenticeship are not eligible for that money. And that £5,000 per year doesn't have to be paid back. So it's a payment to you and you can spend it on whatever you need to do, whether that's travel, accommodation and such. So if you're thinking about working in healthcare, employability is absolutely built in. At ARU last year, over 99% of our nursing and midwifery students went into employment, certainly within 6 months, but most of them straight away. Many of our students held multiple job offers during their time. So it's a really good thing to think about. Do your research and find out where your passion lies.